My uncle made fun of me for not graduating high school and called my mom trash, so I took away his business, marriage, kids, and freedom. My dad has 3 older siblings who made his childhood hell because he was darker skinned than them. They were racist bullies, and the worst was my oldest uncle, a complete snob who thought he was better than everyone. The abuse messed up my dad so badly he became an alcoholic, which made my childhood pretty rough too. These uncles stole everything my dad inherited when my grandfather died. A house, land, money that could have gotten us to middle class at least. Instead, we stayed dirt poor while they looked down on us. I hadn't seen this uncle since I was 7 years old. Then 3 days after I failed my final exam, he showed up at our house uninvited. My mom sat him down for small talk, then called me over. He looked at me with this smug smile and said, "Oh, look how much you've grown. You look just like your dad. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Even in terms of success, you're following his footsteps." Then he let out the most evil, sarcastic laugh I've ever heard. I said, "What do you mean by that?" He said, "Well, I heard you failed high school. Guess this branch of the family is bound to be the loser side." I told him to shut his mouth and get out. Nobody wanted him here anyway. That's when he said, "I guess your trash mom didn't raise you well. What did I expect from hood rats like you?" We got into a screaming match and he left, but I couldn't forget the humiliation. I decided right then I would get revenge somehow. I started digging into his life, spent weeks researching everything about him. What I discovered was gold. All his business and assets were in his wife's name. He technically owned nothing. Turns out he'd committed massive tax fraud, ripped off business partners, then declared bankruptcy and transferred everything to his wife to dodge it all. I found former employees who hated his guts. They said if this ever went to court, they'd testify about how he treated them like garbage while they worked for him. I kept building my case, collecting information, waiting for the right moment. 2 months later, he came back to our house. He needed my dad to make a custom gold ring for his daughter's 10th birthday. My dad's a jeweler. While he was there, he called out for me, said his phone was dying and asked if I had a charger. I almost jumped from excitement. This was my chance. I told him I didn't have a wall charger, but I could charge it with a cable from my laptop. He handed it over without thinking twice. His phone had a passcode, so I couldn't check his emails, but I pulled out the SD card, stuck it in my laptop, and copied every single file. Then I charged his phone and gave it back like nothing happened. He left, and I locked myself in my room and went through everything. At first, I found nothing useful. Just as I was about to give up, I found a hidden folder with a few videos. I opened one, and there it was. A video with another woman, his face clear as day. I literally started singing to myself from excitement. For the next few weeks, I set up a perfect trap, created a fake Facebook account that looked like his mistress, made a bunch of other fake accounts that looked like her friends and family, had them all interact with her page to make it look real. Then I added his wife and messaged her saying I was her husband's mistress. She didn't believe me at first, so I gave her personal details about him that only someone close would know. Told her he'd lied and said they were divorced. Promised me marriage. She wanted to talk on the phone. I had a female friend help by lending her voice. His wife was destroyed. Then I sent her the video as proof. She filed for divorce immediately and sued him for infidelity. Lost him custody and all visitation rights to his daughter. She took everything. The house, the money, every asset that was in her name. Overnight, he went from wealthy to homeless with literally $0. But I wasn't done yet. I contacted his former business partner through one of the employees who especially hated my uncle. Told him everything. The employees were ready to testify. He agreed to file a lawsuit. Then came the cherry on top. During the divorce proceedings, his ex-wife testified that he'd threatened her and their daughter if she didn't put everything in her name. She pulled out phone recordings of him being aggressive, literally saying he'd make their lives miserable if she didn't help him dodge taxes. The judge heard those recordings and that was it. 15 years in prison. He got sentenced so fast he couldn't even process what was happening before he was on his way to jail. He lost everything. His family, his fortune, his freedom, all of it gone. Last month I visited him in prison, walked up to his cell and said just one sentence. "This would have never happened if you just didn't call me a loser," and left. The look on his face when he pieced it all together. When he realized I'd orchestrated every single thing that destroyed his life, that look almost cured my depression.